Okay, let's start it. You free? You have time? So okay, so let's start it. Just do it. Like most people said in the chair, it's not about what college you went into. It's about their own initiative, their own drive, their own ambitions, their own curiosity. I can say from the era in which I grew up, I don't give a rat's ass what you say to me. Okay, you can only be ridden if your back is bent. On my tombstone, I want the epitaph be ashamed to die until you have got something true for humanity. Many people look for meaning in life. Rock or behind a tree. His words by me, you have more power than that. You have the power to create meaning in your life rather than passively look for it. Meaning to me is to do know more about the world today than I did yesterday. It enhances meaning for me. And if I accumulate accrues daily, the month through you know way more than you did just that day later. So you continue to grow. The first question for me wasn't where to find meaning, it was some great meaning and that's the early teens. You can rely in the side between people who transgress but do not hold power over you. That's very much quote from Martin Luther King. You can only be right if your back is bent. When I grew up, it wasn't common to hear the phrase second son and break my bone, but the words we never heard me. I haven't heard that phrase in a long time. I heard it recited in elementary school. The thing that happened over the years is we can't learn as a civilization words can be half-words than our friends in mental health. What I see with feels like the core, however, is people are less able to deal with 37 people who are around today who were put up back then, who are calling your names. I can say for real, which a girl, I don't give a rat's out what you say to me. Unless you between me and some girl, then I'll have to navigate that some way. If a racist person or a sexist person or a person with some kind of cultural bias, I want to know. Actually, they say everything you want to say. They say, okay, that's who you are, how you're thinking. It's not what you need to do because you're in my way. They dig under you or go around you, live over you. Or do you go this way and then come outside? As long as my effort, it's my energy. Some more level is sort of sits differently. Like I say, you're being racist, you're being that's not. You're navigated. I think high school. That's where you learn how to deal with difficult people. There are people who are there are people who cannot who you can interact with for whatever reason, whatever they're going to be in. It could be next to your workplace. So I think we end up with the total social part that people are sorted into the high school experience. You can always say, oh, I could have a lot more with how to deal with all these people. Hey, dealing with all the people is now it's in your portfolio. Your motivation for the grant or you have me scout. They has a vision statement and they have a grit. Okay, they got knocked out, the sleep back and stage right away, they got knocked out again. It was successful, either in super wealth, influence, or just joy. Realized persons, for me, for the public, 80 plus percent of it is driven by beauty, not by ambition. That's how I view it. In your case, they ended up hosting Cosmo in 2014 and Dreams, video of Carson, who is hugely talented. That brought me and said, we should consider hosting commerce as an adult. There are a dozen people, they may have a dozen artists who jump this opportunity, but I need to do this. I really don't. And talk about it. I said, well, I met Carl Sagan when I was 17. When I applied it was Cornell, and been accepted to Cornell, we didn't know what college I want to go to. And the admissions officer was there was until a moment there I have for my application to him. What's reaction? And he sent me a letter. Against letter open it, it says, I understand you like the same stuff I like. You want to go visit the campus and have you decide if you want to go to Korea. He met me outside building on a Saturday. It is something he wrote out of book himself, and it was understanding to me. In a session future senior car. The same go back to New York and begins to snow. It does often in December in Africa, and he says, "Here's my phone number. The bus gets through from snow, spend the night with my family, and go back tomorrow." I'm thinking, who am I? Why? I'm nobody. But I was somebody to him. And I said to myself, if I must have been more from at East, I would choose students the way he had treated me. If we unfold this memory into this kind of commerce, then we have a way to justify why I am next to the host to cause the past, wasn't passed to past in 1975. To England touching future astronomy as have a book. What is it the adult sounded? But the kid I never lost the curiosity. I know how much of people who have sat in his chair in the boy college he went into is what they all it is that we all drive. The ambitions, the art of curiosity that's now taught in school. Sadly, school reviewers at empty vessel would put information in with the thing here in high grade you priced it. Maybe give comments speech they become shakers and movers in the world. And I don't think so. You come to downstep last day of school, you know, singing in Alice carpet song. School's out forever. You'll be there will be a sad song. You'll be singing. Say gee, I gotta go 2 3 months without learning anything. So be sad that school is over. Unhappy not happy, and so you leave school, you say to yourself, I know how to learn. And I don't have a curiosity of all things and as opposed to we become a lifelong learner. I read things that takes me to the place where other people think. What's wrong with that impacted you so much you still carry today? For me, Atlas words, whatever of wisdom, he clean in his life, and it is safely communicate to me with that example, or just by statements in high school. He was in gym class and wheeling up about into the next unit and it was checking fuel. And the gym instructor wanted to my father on the line and say, situation, everyone look at him. He does not have a body type that he could excel in check. And he says, what? No one is going to tell me what I can do in my life. And he used that as a reason to start running. Within a few years of that, Libya overlast in 1948, the Olympics will not get ready to come back. The oil speaker was still sprawling, rolling from Second World War. Instead, it was still an Olympics, which is called GI Olympics, and it was held in Hitler Stadium. And so it's competed in Hitler Stadium in the late 1940s. The reason why I'm saying that is he had friends named Trinity Johnson. They competing at the New York Athletic Club. The New York Athletic Club at the time accepted only white Protestant, system another the Bruno Club to everybody who was not accepted into the New York Athletic, basically black Jews. His best friend Johnny Johnson, okay, was coming around the back straight. Now had been and the runner from New York feels past behind him, and Johnny Johnson overhears national coach say, catch that nigger. And he overheard this. So did he say to himself, he said, this is one nigger he ain't going to catch. And extended his sled to the finish line. Is that story? Not with any bitter tone. It was it's an occasion to parley. What today might be called migration is the reason to excel even more than you have expected of your own abilities and talents. Another question is what impact you have on the world. The impact will be people learn from me in a way that they are empowered by what I taught them. They think of what they learned from me and no longer think of me. They think of their own based of understanding of how this world works and become irrelevant. And because these people said it's because Tyson says so, they failed. Now how you teach someone that's teaching them the authority. I don't know, that's no. I wonder once yourself what you think about a word. And you say anyhow, the words to understand the word, you just run off it. You don't even look back. Because the new love of hunger had descended upon you, and method and terms to feed a hunger inaccessible to you. My impact would be that others impacted and they don't even remember that it has something to do with it. Okay, so after this videos, after following this speech and the speed of this video, I feel like I'm more confident with myself right now that I can do that thing that I couldn't do it in the past. Like I talk with the same speed of the video, and I talk like my tone of my voice is different on in each case. Like oh, I like him, like it's not oh I like him, it's not I like him. It's not like it goes up and down, so it's pretty good for me. And I think that's the thing I learned for my process of practicing English. So I think that it is pretty good for me for myself right now.